This is my YouTube name, Jacob Cast 2024. I'm gonna do my Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw just went off the air a few minutes ago. This show was a great show. We had a fantastic tournament. The first round of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. We had some very good matches. Um, we will go through all the matches. We do have some more on SmackDown this Friday. We'll wait and see what happens there. Um, just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Enjoy my video. We will talk about what happened on that one tonight. The matches and the tournament, the backstage segments, and we will talk about the news and rumors. And also, my video is sponsored by Fightful Wrestling, No DQ, JD from New York, Solomonster, Good Network Commentary. This is No DQ. Here's matches. We have Finn Balor and Jey Uso because Drew McIntyre wasn't in the tournament. He was removed because he wasn't cleared to wrestle. Per storyline, CM Punk took out Drew McIntyre and injured his arm. So Drew McIntyre was pulled from the tournament and they replaced him for Jey Uso. And Jey Uso beat Finn Balor in the opening match. And that was a pretty good match. Finn Balor at the Jey Uso advance. We had a fantastic match with Ricochet and Dragunov. We had a very good match with Io Sky and Natalia. Ivy Nile and Zoe Stark, that was decent. It went about 5 minutes. We had Lyra Valkyrie and Dakota Kai. Asuka was none. She was pulled from the match. I think she's injured. So they had Dakota Kai replace Asuka, take on Lyra Valkyrie. And Lyra and Dakota had a very good match. The main event was Sheamus and Gunther. They had a fantastic match, very good match, great ending. I thought it was great. Alright, come on, enough. Yeah. Now we were supposed to get Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio, but I guess the match was scrapped due to time consent. So we will see Kofi and Rey next week on Raw. These are the matches. So we have eight. We have 4 matches. 8 superstars, and on SmackDown there's nobody 8 superstars in the King and Queen of the Ring. So that's 16 men. And this is how you're supposed to be King of the Ring. It should always be like this. The King of the Ring should always be put like this. It should always be 16 men and 16 women. I think we're off to a great start. I think SmackDown we will get some good matches. SmackDown's gonna be 2 hours, so I don't know how long those matches are gonna be. But Raw was 3 hours and we had some very good matches. They were given a lot of time, even the women, because under Triple H, he knows how to book talent and book new people, especially people who just called up from NXT. So, um, Mike will show you guys Alright. Now we have the why is this speculation. Come on.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday. That means it's time for Monday Night Raw after show here on Wrestling Inc. And we got a show for you. We've got King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring, and CM Punk told a lie. That's right. I'll tell you what that lie was in just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into all that, I'm Jack Farmer, being joined by Jimmy Corderas.
CM Punk showed up. Now, this is what we got on Monday Night Raw. Show opened up with Judgment Day and Damian Priest. Damian Priest apologizing to the Judgment Day. Clearly, they're planting seeds for the Judgment Day to turn on Priest. We don't know when, but he apologized to them after having a backlash, and they forgave him. We had Jey Uso and Finn Balor because Drew McIntyre was pulled. They say he was not cleared to wrestle. So we had a very good match with Jey Uso and Finn Balor. Jey Uso gets the victory. Drew McIntyre did show up during the match with his arm sleeve. So I get that the story that they're telling with him and CM Punk. I thought Drew was going to interfere in the match, maybe screw over Jay or screw over Finn, because how did Drew get back into the title picture? He he probably won't for a while. So he probably gotta wait. But anyway, Jey Uso won. He got the victory. Very good match. We did get CM Punk came out after Drew McIntyre left. After McIntyre got in the car and left the arena, CM Punk came out. He wanted to say a few words. He challenged Drew McIntyre to meet him in the ring. So far, the feud is getting very hyped. I'm looking forward to this match. I don't think this is gonna happen in Saudi Arabia, is it? I don't think Punk's gonna be cleared to wrestle in Saudi Arabia. It could be a Clash in the Castle. It could be. I'm looking forward to it. Now, CM Punk did say that he broke his arm, so this all had to be for a storyline with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Are we probably gonna CM Punk actually somehow broke his arm and that's why Drew couldn't wrestle in the tournament? And that's the storyline that the lie he told us? Look, I can understand that, but it kind of looked lame. Why put Drew in the tournament if he's not gonna like be in the tournament? They played. I understand if for the storyline of him and CM Punk. Okay, we'll see. It'll be on the show next week. We had a very good match with Io Sky and Natalia. They went about 10 minutes. Io Sky got the victory, so she will now advance. The best match was Ricochet and Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov went over. I would love to see his match again. I think they went about probably 16 or 17 minutes. Dragunov went over. It was a very good match. I think the weakest match may have been Ivy Nile and Zoe Nine. This match probably went like what, 5 minutes? At least 5 or 6 minutes. It was pretty short. Zoe Nine got the victory. She couldn't advance. We got a bad T7 with R2 from the Miz. R2 attempt to set up a rotating tie against the the Colts, the basketball team in Connecticut. Jey Uso gets emotional about the firefighter yes in the we did get Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan in a face to face here. Becky Lynch came out. She was talking to Michael Cole about how she won about her winning the belt. Liv Morgan interrupts her, and they made the match official. Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch for the women's championship at the King and Queen of the Ring pay per view in Saudi Arabia. So that's gonna be official. So during that, we did get Damage Control came out here. I thought that Becky and Liv were gonna help each other, but no, Liv got out the ring. Lara Valkyrie came out, helped her file Damage Control. Now, Liv Morgan is clearly the heel, so Becky, your baby face, line with the baby face. So Becky and Liv will be for the pay per view in Saudi Arabia, as well as Sami Zayn, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable. We had Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. Sami Zayn came out and caused a DQ. Sami Zayn cut a promo backstage that matched the official. Sami Zayn will defend the IC title against Bronson Reed and Chad Gable in Saudi Arabia. So we got 4 matches already announced for the pay per view. All right.
Leish answered in that manner. Some of those talent were like, nope, it's on background now. You can use it. Feel free. Go ahead. Here you go. Here's that information. So that's how that sort of dominates. Now, like I look at how this situation all unfolded, and I'm not like sad or mad or really any of those things because after the last couple of weeks, I can't really convey those emotions right now. I'm very empty in that regard. I was annoyed and disappointed, and I was more disappointed because I knew how the reaction. And Denise, you know what I'm talking about there. There are people that were just like that made their day because they don't create anything of their own. They don't have community outside of hating on other people. That's what they love. So again, like I said, it'd be very easy for WWE to come out and say Triple H didn't call Sean Ross Sapp, and it'd be very easy for me to be like, "Here you go, yeah, he did." So I mean, the idea from people that didn't happen or the WWE didn't, say what they said. I keep my receipts. I think that's pretty evident by anybody that follows what I do on Twitter. I keep my receipts in that regard. Last week alone, WWE confirmed our reports on Seth Rollins' NXT releases, and within 2 days, confirmed our stories on Las Vegas WrestleMania, Jey Uso filling in tonight, Dijak status. So at this point, if it's a thing where you just don't like me or you don't like somebody that works here and you're saying, well, Fightful's not credible, you're being obtuse. Our track record speaks for itself. It's really good. I'm very proud of the work that we do here. And like anybody saying Fightful's not credible, like listen, yeah, if you want to die on that hill, by all means, die on the hill that we're not credible, accurate, that we don't have sources. You can live in that fantasy land. You can be obtuse about facts. You can embarrass yourself because anybody with a functioning brain can look at our track record, which is very good. So yeah, I wasn't particularly in a joking mood after this week, and I would tweet about it that night. People go, "You're still on this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I am still on this." Just like people are still on me from a tweet that I didn't tweet from the Fightful account 2.5 years ago that, make coke jokes when I would never touch anything like that. Go finger wag those people. The weirdos that I knew would specifically react to this type of thing. The fun police that are out there that will not allow people to enjoy anything, have any semblance of joy in any categorical way about pro wrestling. Go finger wag those weirdos because I do not want dumb, media illiterate readers or bad people. And that's what I see a lot of in this situation. WWE invites myself, Denise, Joel Pearl to media junkets, media events, talent interviews, all that stuff. I don't personally need that. We lose money on that. So whether Triple H likes me or not, or likes Fightful or not, I don't care. I know he does not like wrestling media. I know he's never liked wrestling media because I spoke to people. Because he says something like that, I'm not going to develop a bias or anything in that regard. I don't need sympathy or anything like that after what happened last week, but to somebody. And I think that bothers a lot of the people that reacted the way that they did. I don't go after anybody that doesn't start some shit. And I know that really, really bothers some people that feel like they should be able to say whatever they want.
All right.
also a very, very unique space.
To call it Kai Live, I feel very good math in about 10 minutes. I can't wait to see what happened on SmackDown. They still announced massive for SmackDown. Again, we gotta wait.
They only have 3 weeks to finish this tournament, and they still want to give you your Monday Night Raws that you're used to instead of dedicating the next 3 weeks of Raws and SmackDowns just to tournament matches only. That's not really what WWE does. AEW is kind of likely to do something like that. Just give us, great match after great in-ring match after great in-ring match all in a row on their shows. They're more likely to do that than WWE. But WWE still wants to have the other elements that we're used to seeing on their show still on their show. So to me, WWE didn't do anything wrong here. I saw a lot of fans get really mad and stuff. You just have to think about the circumstances. They didn't go out of their way to screw these talents. They did this because they didn't really have any other choice. So, having 3 pay-per-views in a matter of like 6 weeks between Backlash and Saudi Arabia and Clash at the Castle, granted, that's a lot. But creative can only do so much with that. And I think unless they would have started this tournament before Backlash, then you would have been doing it before the draft, and that would have been hard as well. So you didn't even have a solution going backwards. You couldn't even start it a few weeks earlier because there was still a lot of uncertainty with the draft, and you had a pay-per-view coming up, an international pay-per-view. And if you try to do a tournament while all that's going on, that's going to be hard to do as well. So this is really kind of the only way to do it if they want. I mean, so let's not fly off the rails and freak out about these matches. We've got to pick your battles. There are some battles totally worth fighting, and there are others that are not. This is one that's not. So I think if anybody out there was upset that a couple of matches got bumped from Raw to live events, get over yourself.
Really?
Please get over yourself.
Live event?
And plus now, the live event crowd, wherever these matches are going to take place, there's actually going to be stakes at a house show match. That's not bad either. So I saw very, very little negative other than, me as a fan saying, oh, I'm kind of bummed that Kofi and Ray didn't get to be on TV. But you know what? I'll survive. I'll live. I would have liked to see Ray and Kofi, but you know what? The fact that I'm not being able to see it, I will pick up the pieces of my shattered life and I will move on. Somehow I will find the strength and bravery to move on. I will. You guys are here to support me. I know you guys will support me through this journey of recovery, of not being able to witness Kofi Kingston on TV. I can probably find plenty of other matches between those two guys out there on the interwebs. So not a big deal, at least to Ray. It's a big deal to other people. Just only get attention for being really terrible people. So yeah, I looked at this situation and I was like, man, really didn't want to deal with this week. Really didn't want to deal with this week. And even more than that, I didn't want to deal with weird people after last week. And we were very fortunate at Fightful that said, I didn't care about Shamrocks in 98. I didn't care about Billy Guns in 1999. And I was at the front row ringside for that show. So, or fourth row ringside for that event. Didn't care about Billy. I'm going to go ahead and cover WWE Raw now.
Well, all I want to say is that the reason why I chose to sit here and be here during this is I knew you called me and you said, hey, if you don't want to be part of this, you don't have to be part of this. And the reason I wanted to be part of this was, and just to really not even say anything, but because I know how much work it takes to do this kind of a job. I know what it takes out of you. I know everything that goes into it. And so for me, I'm just looking at this and going when someone sort of opens up the door to allow people to come in and criticize you and criticize your work, it's not something that you want to do. And so I'm just here to support, man, because at the end of the day, we're out here, we're working hard, whether or not you care or like someone, that's whatever, that's up to whoever. But point is, when you're doing the work, I think that there should be some respect that comes with it. And also, the best and the worst thing about wrestling media is that anybody can do it. And let's be real, there are a lot of people that give this genre of media a very, very bad name. And unfortunately, we all, because we all get thrown under the exact same umbrella, and that is the very unfortunate part. And when you have situations like this, it opens up again those doors for people to go and attack you and attack your work and attack your credibility, and that sucks. So for me, I'm just looking at this and going, I'm very happy that there's a platform and there's a place that you can go and address how you feel and what you know, and that's about it. That's all you can do. And I think the positive thing about this, though, and I'm going to be real, is that everybody here that has like a normal functioning brain, like you said, and everybody who follows the work that you do, that Mike Johnson does, that other people do incredible in this space, they understand. I think a lot of people understand what we deal with, and the people that did not want to support Fightful, that did not want to support, like people say, the dirt sheets, those people's opinions are not going to change, regardless of if Triple H would have gone out there and been like, it was great. No matter what, those people's opinions were not going to change.
I mean, for an example, WWE confirmed to me the Seth Rollins news. I tweeted about Triple H directly responded to it was the night that I teased The Rock showing up on day one. He addressed the internet rumors. That was my tweet. That's the item gone from the company. And this was broken by PW Insider Mike Johnson today. I did read a Fight the Select article on this. They followed up a little bit. Some fans, upon hearing this news, thought that maybe we were going to reunite with Jim Ross, but that wasn't going to be possible with this Legends deal anyway. Concern to me was, and by the way, he outright said to me, wasn't a shot at you. His specific claim was, oh, it's the Rousey connection. And I said, well, dude, he didn't report that. The rest of that conversation is off the record. Can't really elaborate on that. I will say it was very kind of him. He extended condolences. He was not aware of what happened last week. I want to make that clear. I didn't think that was like a personal shot or anything. And I saw some people bringing up the connection there. But that wasn't a thing. It was a coincidence in that regard.
Queen of the Ring tournaments, the first King of the Ring tournament that they have done in 3 years. Technically first Queen of the Ring. I know it had a different name before. But the tournament's kicked off tonight. As you can see here, this is the bracket for the men's King of the Ring tournament. Well, I guess it's the men's tournament. We already do that. But this is the Raw side of the tournament. You look at some of these matches that you have here on your screen. All but one took place on tonight's show. You've got Gunther and Sheamus. You've got Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet. Drew McIntyre and Finn Balor, which was supposed to take place tonight and did not. Unfortunately, before Raw, Adam Pearce posted a video announcing that McIntyre was not medically able to compete. And as a result, he was removed from the King of the Ring tournament. So we did not get McIntyre against Finn Balor, which was very disappointing. But it is what it is. I mean, McIntyre, he has not wrestled on television in a month since he lost that four-way match to determine the number one contender for the World Heavyweight title. He hasn't wrestled at all since April 20th. That was in a match in Belfast when WWE was on its European tour. So he's dealing with the hyperextended elbow that he suffered at WrestleMania. Can't imagine it's going to keep him out for too much longer, but unfortunately he was not cleared tonight. And not only was he not cleared, sadly, that was the men's tournament. On the women's side, we had an injury issue as well. As you can see here, the match is Shayna Baszler against Zelina Vega is going to take place this weekend. We've got Io Sky against Natalya. That did take place tonight. Ivy Nile against Zoe Stark. And then Asuka was supposed to wrestle Lyra Valkyria, the newest addition to the Raw women's roster. Unfortunately, Asuka is injured. And they did not tell us what the nature of the injury was. The last time we saw her would have been on Saturday at Backlash when she and Kyrie lost the women's tag team titles to Bianca Belair and Jade. Hopefully it is nothing serious, but never a good thing to have two of the best people that you got in either of these tournaments go down due to injury. But Gunther and Sheamus have a little bit of a history together. in case you didn't know, you think back to that first match, Clash at the Castle, 2002, a fucking classic between those two for the Intercontinental title. They ran it back a few months later, maybe a couple of months later, it was on SmackDown. Another great match. Then they go to WrestleMania last year, and we get the triple threat match for the Intercontinental title with Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. And so tonight was match number 4. And it's only the first round. They put these two guys in the first round of the tournament. That was our main event tonight. And they delivered another banger, as Sheamus likes to say. Another great match between these two. Gunther is moving on. Sheamus is not. Nothing to be ashamed of, though. Two guys go in there, they beat the hell out of each other. I could watch these two go out there and beat the shit out of each other every month if they wanted to run that match back. That main event right there was it.
Matthews in here. Jake the Aerial Assassin, Doug Unfunded House, Jake Rambo, and Rampage. /. Let's get to these.
Long for anything and everything. To go from that to this was quite the come down. We had these two guys went out there. They won the crowd over. They had a great match. And Ilya Dragunov is moving on to the next round of the King of the Ring. Those two matches on this show tonight, those are the two best matches. That is what King of the Ring should be all about. That's what I think of when I think of King of the Ring. What I want this tournament to be is what those two matches delivered here tonight. And Balor and McIntyre had the potential to do the same, but we just didn't get to see it. But a great start for the King of the Ring. And honestly, also, I would say very good start for Queen of the Ring. There were a couple of matches that didn't really click on the women's side, but the women's tournament as well. Also, very good action. If you compare it to the Queen's Crown from 3 years ago, my God, it's like night and day. We had in one match tonight, Natty had a match on this show with Io Sky. Their first time meeting one-on-one. You realize that the entire length of their match tonight in the opening round was longer than every other match that took place in the Queen's Crown 3 years ago. That's the difference between what we got then and what we got now. This was only the first half. We still don't know any of the matches that are going to be taking place on SmackDown on Friday, but we still have the SmackDown portion of both these tournaments yet to come. We also, on the show tonight, we had two matches made official for King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. One for the Intercontinental Championship, the other for the Women's World Championship. That segment tonight was one of the worst on the show when Becky Lynch came to the ring to sit down with Michael Cole. I know what they were trying to do. It did not work. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you take a swing and you hit a base hit. Sometimes you take a swing and a miss. That segment was a swing and a miss.
Yeah, I agree.
That was one of the weaker segments on the entire show tonight. But outside of that, and outside, as I said, of a couple of the women's tournament matches that did not click, I thought this was a very good episode of Raw. Every match on the show, well, I should say most of the matches, the tournament matches, even the ones that weren't that great, the matches tonight had purpose. It all feeds it.
Right. Jason Barker with a $100. And drives his military brat from San Antonio. HBK's dad would come from him if he did what Triple H did. I mean, I've heard of Shawn Michaels putting a lot of people, like, setting a lot of them straight. AJ says, just sending love for the Fightful crew. I watch Shawn and Denise a lot of the times. Y'all the best. Let's get to some of the wrestling. As Meet Normus says, welcome back, let's crank. Meltzer called you Sean Sapp.
Subscribe, super chats are open. 450 likes is the goal for
The King of the Ring under Vince McMahon was a half-assed job that never led to anything for those who won it. It was always a way to comically turn them into a crown or king, knight them with a cape and a crown and a scepter and have them cut some fucking stupid promos for the next 6 months, doing some royalty gimmick with some fucking fake accent. That's all the King of the Ring was used for. And Zelina Vega did that when she won the Queen's Crown tournament. She came out acting all regal, waving all regal-like, and she wore the scepter and the crown and the cape. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, man. It was the same shit every single time. I don't think we have to worry about that in this administration. Because what we saw tonight, we got things started on the right foot, at least for the men. At least for the men. The men's side of this tournament is fucking stacked. Legitimately stacked. And that is without Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was originally slated for the tournament tonight. He was supposed to wrestle tonight against Finn Balor. And that did not happen. And they pulled him because McIntyre supposedly is not medically cleared for the tournament. Now, why is he not medically cleared? Well, the speculation is, well, the report was that McIntyre got injured at WrestleMania and is dealing with a severe hyperextended elbow. So I'm not going to zing them too hard on that. The WWE Raw roster is so deep after the draft, which tonight the roster's locked. There's no switching brands. There's no SmackDown over to Raw, no Raw over to SmackDown. The rosters are set. The rosters are locked. This was the beginning of that. No shenanigans. Jey Uso. Main event Jey Uso filled in for Drew McIntyre, and he wrestled Finn Balor in the opening match of the King of the Ring tournament. The men's side was great tonight. Now, originally, if you guys watched Backlash, there were 4 men's matches scheduled for tonight and 4 women's matches scheduled for tonight. WWE, late in the day, lined up the entire show, and there was only 3 men's matches scheduled for the show, and then 3 women's matches that were scheduled for the show. Zelina Vega was supposed to wrestle Shayna Baszler. That is no longer happening, or that did not happen on the show. They are saying that match, that first round match, will now take place at a WWE live event house show sometime this week. So it will not be televised. Same thing goes for the men. WWE scheduled Kofi Kingston versus Rey Mysterio tonight. That match, which I was actually interested in seeing, that match is taking place at probably the same live event house show sometime this week. So WWE did something very historic. The first time in I don't remember how long. I mean, it might have been the first time that WWE had 8 matches on Monday Night Raw, at least in the last 10 years, 15 years. Monday Night Raw is usually 6 matches, maybe 7 matches. Me and Kate had a very spirited discussion of something I didn't disagree with her about last week. But you know what she didn't do? She confirmed or not. I don't know. When we got Lyra Valkyria made her debut against Dakota Kai. It was supposed to be against Asuka. But Asuka apparently got injured at the or their eyes were bigger than their stomach.
LA Knight declared, and we know Santos Escobar declared. We don't know them all yet. Gunther and Drew McIntyre were the 2 favorites for me. I mean, Gunther is going to be everybody's favorite, but I thought McIntyre, if it wasn't going to be Gunther, McIntyre would have been my pick. You know, just because to have him win, and if the winner gets a title opportunity, it just makes sense to send him to Clash of the Castle and have him challenge for the World Heavyweight title. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It still might go down that way. But him being pulled from the tournament is a big loss, but it's the benefit of having another big name on that roster. Jey Uso is out there and he's got nothing to do. He already lost his world title Backlash. So what else are you going to do with him? All of a sudden, the spot opens up. You put him in King of the Ring. See, so it helps to have another big name on the roster at their disposal. And they aired a commercial for SmackDown talking about the qualifying matches continuing.
To release the SmackDown side of the bracket for the men and women. We maybe we get that tomorrow. But all in all, I thought WWE started solid with the King of the Ring tournament tonight, mostly coming out of the men's bracket. Now, obviously, Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet had the best match tonight. I mean, I told you guys about Ilya Dragunov. If you don't know who Ilya Dragunov is, now you know. Now you know the physicality that he brings. Now you know the intensity that he brings. Now you know who your new favorite pro wrestler is on the roster, not named Gunther. Love it. Back with Ricochet. And I'm sure that's not the last time we will see them in the ring together. Jey Uso versus Finn Balor proved to be a decent match. I'm not big on singles wrestler Jey Uso, but Jey Uso versus Finn Balor proved to be decent. Then we got Sheamus and Gunther, which goes without saying. You could put Gunther in a match with basically anybody, and it automatically starts at 4 stars. And I love the story that they told there, and I thought they killed it in a main event that I was very much excited for, and they delivered. Unfortunately, for the ladies, I cannot say the same thing. I cannot feel the same excitement for the ladies. Outside Natalya and Io Sky, who I thought killed it tonight. I thought that was a very good match.
Yeah, me too.
I thought they brought it, and Natty showing her worth when it's time to step up in these situations. Io is great. We all love Io. They delivered. The other 2 matches, not so much. Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai. It was supposed to be Lyra and Asuka. Match might have been a little bit different if Asuka was in there. Asuka apparently got injured at Backlash, and she was removed from the tournament. So Dakota Kai took her place. Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria. Who? Oh, Becky Minnie. Okay. Lyra Valkyria. No reaction whatsoever. And the match suffered for it. And then Zoe Stark versus Ivy Nile. I mean, hand me a fucking pillow and wake me when it's over. I mean, they spent more time on the top rope trying to figure out what they wanted to do than actually in the ring entertaining us with some story. That did not happen. So the ladies' side felt a little weak tonight. But all in all, I thought tonight's show was a thumbs up. And that was the premise of tonight's show. I thought the King of the Ring was very well done. The ladies, the Queen of the Ring, not so much. I'm hoping for better on Friday night. And we had a great main event. And Ilya Dragunov and Ricochet killed. So we'll go over everything we need to on tonight's show.
It is so expensive. Have a little respect for your fans in that regard, and not make them pay thousands and thousands of dollars to go to the show. I would love to see them go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, and do that. Like, while we can, I think he makes a great looking one. You could say with the Balor, of course, big ass headed JD McDonough, and Dirty Sanchez, Dominic Mysterio, who's rocking that stash now. He looks some Dom, he's got his arm in a sling. And they come to the ring and right off the bat, let's do address what went down at Backlash.
Oh, come on.
Now, I had thought that he was going to get pissed and scold all these guys because they started after the help of Priest win. When Priest is celebrating the victory, they start putting boots to Jey Uso. And Priest turns around and is like, no, and he kind of pushes them away. And ultimately still celebrates with them, but stops them from putting the boots to Jey and harming Jey any further. I was wondering.
Before he got to Gorilla, though,
million times, right, throughout my entire life. And I've gone for wrestling shows, I've gone for non-wrestling shows, hell, I've even gone to the Super Bowl, I've gone for all of these different things. And let me tell you, the prices, they're always the freaking same. They're always the freaking same. They might fluctuate a couple dollars here and there, but everything is expensive no matter where the hell you.
In a surprising move, Priest actually apologizes and thanks Judgment Day for helping him out. He said he handled things wrong and feels bad about that. You guys helped me retain the title, and I treated you poorly, and I apologize. And I thank you guys for helping me. And
my damn way.
now seems to be
And what
all
I
back
tell you?
on the same page. He even looked right at JD McDonough, who he's had a really tough time accepting over the past few months, and said, "I appreciate you. Thank you for what you did, and I'm sorry for being a dick." So they're kind of back on the same page right now. Finn Balor, of course, is happy as can be because prior to Raw, it was announced on social media that Drew McIntyre was not medically cleared to compete in tournaments that he needed to be full. So, of course, Balor thinks he's getting a bye. He thinks he's getting a bye.
Hey, don't start with me.
I am going right on to the second round. He instructs Samantha Irvin to
Hey, do not start
announce
with
him
me.
as the winner. And you knew that Pierce was going to come out. Of course, he did. Adam Pierce comes out and announces that Balor does not have a bye. He will still be wrestling in the first round. That match is up next against main event Jey Uso. So Jey Uso, who got screwed at Backlash in that match against Damian Priest, now gets the match with Finn Balor instead. We go commercial, come back, and it's Jey and Balor. We did have the Drew McIntyre side. He came out to ringside during this match. He did not get physical, and I was curious too. I'm like, if he gets physical, that means that the doctor's not clearing him to work. That means it's taping. So I was wondering, did they pull him from the tournament because they don't want him to win the tournament? So why have him in there? Why beat him? If he's not going to win. I thought maybe they just pulled him and maybe injured up. But it sounds like the injury is legit unless they have some discussions today, during the day in creative meetings, and then they said, "Hey, wait a minute, let's get McIntyre out of there." Some injury, but I think it's legit from what we understand. So Jey Uso faces Balor instead, and even though Drew came out there, he didn't really get involved in it. He was just there in his presence, and Jey Uso wound up hitting a spear and beat Finn Balor to advance. We had a feeling there's no way Jey was going to lose and then lose again. So this was a great way, actually, to bounce Jey Uso right back after that loss at Backlash. And it was a pretty good match on top of it. This match was so good, but it was probably the third best of the three men's tournament matches that we got tonight. And that's saying something. That's saying something about the quality of the in-ring work that we've been getting lately in WWE. It's really been.
That was on social.
Encourage everybody in Hartford and everybody watching to go ahead and to tweet Drew McIntyre. And if he's not a coward, he'll turn his car around and come back to catch the beating that he deserves. In the meantime, he said, "Is it okay if I tell all of you a story?" Because he said, "Look, I'm going to hijack the show if I have to until Drew comes back. So do you mind if I tell you a story?" So back in January in the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre DDT'd him so hard that he posted to prevent the brunt of the damage from going to his neck. And in doing so, he tore his triceps off the bone. And he was heartbroken. He thought Drew had ruined his WrestleMania dreams. But he had a good cry about it. He had a great surgery, picked himself back up, and he realized that Drew McIntyre didn't ruin anything. He said, if anything, he delayed his WrestleMania dreams. Because in baseball, they call him a five-tool player because he's got everything. Drew McIntyre, just a tool. He's been listening to McIntyre running his mouth about how he prayed for this. He prayed for him to get injured. He picked a fight with the pettiest man on the roster, maybe on earth. And he said last week he's going to make Drew's life a living hell, and that's exactly what he's doing. He called McIntyre a hater. He hates the way that Punk looks. He hates the way that Punk walks. He hates the way that he talks. And yet, kind of the irony of it all is that all he does is try to be just like him. He tries to walk like him, he sits like him when he's in the ring, he tries to talk like him with the with the bombs and the one-liners and everything. And then it occurred to him, does Drew McIntyre hate CM Punk? Or does Drew McIntyre hate himself? Apparently he just signed that sweet new contract. I don't think Drew McIntyre hates himself. I think he's loving life right now. That new contract, thanks to the Endeavor people, right? I'm sure they set him up very nicely for the next few years. He's probably going to be World Heavyweight Champion soon. And Drew's sitting on cloud 9. He said, Drew, you prayed for this, and I broke your elbow. And if you show up now or the next time I see you, I'm going to break your face. Then I'm going to break your heart. Nope. He played his music. He looked into the camera. He threatened that if Drew makes him go to Glasgow, he's going to hide in a bowl of haggis. He's going to hop out, or pop out. I don't know why he would hop. He's a fucking rabbit. He's going to hop out, and he's going to break Drew's head. What is haggis?
Domino's pepperoni stuff.
Lee, I said Brittany Brooks, J-Rod in the past. Like, I can see a lot of those people getting signed to NXT. I don't think there are like big ticket free agents that are necessarily out there, except for Hikuleo eventually in like a month or so.
The thing is that NXT literally does not need any more women. They've got plenty there already. They need more dudes, man. Go out and find some because we need it's starting to look a little bleak. They need to find some more dudes in there to really start to make some more stars there for the future because I'm looking at it, I'm going, honestly, futures right now in the women and everything I'm seeing from them over on NXT.
Yeah.
We got Drew leaving. He's livid. I liked this segment with he and Adam Pearce because Drew was announced as not medically cleared after he admitted he had hyperextended his elbow. And Adam Pearce said, well, guess what? Nobody knew that you were hurt until you went and ran your mouth about it. And then when you ran your mouth about it, I'm going to do my job and get it checked on. And guess what? Now you're not cleared. Good job. I love this. It showed Adam Pearce as a guy that's like, he said the quiet part out loud. He said, if you don't want people to know you're hurt, don't talk about it.
He put his foot in his mouth is what he did. He put his foot in his mouth. He got screwed. And now he was left to have to make that decision. Fine. It ended up working itself. And I'm glad they explained all of that. But that for me wasn't even the funny part. For me, it's the cow and the situation with CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. I was dying about it last week with freaking Drew going down and trying to chase him down on a skybox, and then
and we get the Jey Uso entrance. Not exactly how it was in France. We see a couple people in Hartford, Connecticut, and adopt the same type of vibe as in Lyon, France. There was a couple of cell phones out with the
How are you? Move back there.
Oh, whoop, my bad.
Well, kind of stupid. That made
Drew's hyperextended elbow is going to keep him out for very long. Punk being in the ring though, for Glasgow, I don't know, it's a little iffy. Okay, so I'm being told that haggis is sheep guts stuffed with oats.
Feels a lot of place. I was like, and listen, like I don't have any problems with like the shots that Jack. Not like the choke artist I am, huh, Pat? Or get a title shot at Clash of the Castle against McIntyre, against Bruce, and win it there. If the King of the Ring is going to get a title shot, perhaps at Clash of the Castle, then that's going to be Cody and Gunther maybe if they choose to be the champion. So I don't know how that's going to work if that was WWE's initial intent, but if there's a way to get McIntyre a title shot for Clash of the Castle, I don't know how you don't do that. I don't know how you don't put McIntyre in a title match. You know what I mean? How do you not do that at Clash of the Castle? How do you hold that show and not put him in a title match? So can we agree that he's probably at least going to be booked for one, and it's probably going to have to be against Priest? What else are they going to do? The only thing I can think of, and I think this would be crazy, but it would still probably be pretty good. It could just be the Punk match there. They'd have to both be healthy for that. That match is that show is a month away, a little bit over a month away. So if they're both healthy enough and they're cleared, you could just do Drew and Punk at the Clash of the Castle show. But with that even main event, you're probably gonna have 1, 2 minimum title matches. Probably a women's title match too somewhere on there. So Punk and Drew, I think that feels more of a SummerSlam match to me, Clash of the Castle. So I would put the belt on McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. And then that's going to give you, what, I guess 2 months of build to get to SummerSlam, right?
That's way too long.
Build, there's a pay-per-view in between there too somewhere.
Yeah, way too long.
So that's a lot of McIntyre and Punk you got to do. What is the July pay-per-view? Oh, it's Money in the Bank. It's Money in the Bank. Oh, it's Money in the Bank. Oh. I like the idea of Kevin Owens winning the Money in the Bank. Could you imagine Punk winning it again? You know, and think about this. If WWE has a plan for number one, McIntyre to win the title of Clash of the Castle, and then to do Drew and Punk at SummerSlam, it's going to be hard to justify Punk getting a title shot against Drew unless they do a number one contenders thing. There's a triple threat match and another triple threat match, and the winner of the 2 triple threat matches will wrestle, and the winner of that gets the title shot. If they do something like that, then you can get the title shot to Punk. But you could also do it by him cashing in the Money in the Bank. But if Punk got the briefcase, I would want him to cash in unannounced, not booking it for SummerSlam. So you could factor him into the Money in the Bank, but I don't think you need to. I think you could probably find a way to make the CM Punk title match at SummerSlam make sense. WWE does a lot of number one contender matches. Both companies do this, and it kind of gives them a reason.
He loses a lot. So it's hard to kind of bring yourself to care about some of these people when they come out there. Natty falls into that same category. She's been there even longer. Rarely wins. She's just there. They plug her in wherever they can fill.
Match wasn't bad. Can't really sit here and physically tell you that a Finn Balor match is a bad match.
Like we got it coming. Bagarod says, "Welcome back after asking Melvin to you, your family, much love to you, and all the fights are my go-to source for wrestling and content. Thank you for that, despite us not being incredible." So we got Io Sky defeating Natalia. Now, by the way, Kofi Kingston, Rey Mysterio, a first-time match, moved off of this show onto a live event. Hate it.
2 matches were moved
Hate it.
off.
Oh, I know. We're not done. Also, Shayna and who else? Zelina off the show. Huh?
They promoted the matches. They gave us graphics, Sean.
Do them on fucking main event or something. Like anything but not on TV. What? Yeah. You want to talk about not credible? Your own match graphics aren't credible. What are we talking about? Well, guess who? Guess who reported those matches weren't happening? Fightful. What are we doing here? Damn. Anywho, Io Sky defeated Natalia. So, Natalia and Global Bias put on last week. Natalia, in her contract month, is out here proving points. This woman is out there doing some of the best work of her career. If I were any company, now TNA cannot pay her anywhere near what WWE and/or AEW pay her. That's the reality.
Yeah.
It would be a 2-horse race.
All right, now let's show JD from New York.
AC from NXT. Dexter Lumis and Nikki Cross. I like it.
Dexter Lumis.
I like it a lot. How they're introduced, when they're introduced, where they're introduced, I don't know. But I like the makeup of it. We'll see what happens. Screw you off and his bullshit. So he leaves off, leaves the parking garage, and as he's leaving, Punk then arrived in a retro Z28 sports car. Yellow. gets out. Pierce told Punk he just missed Drew because Punk asks, "Where's Drew?" Punk asked Pierce to have the production team play his music because he had something to say to the lock artist. Now, CM Punk was locked at Titan Tower, or locked inside Titan Tower for the last 48 hours, which is all documented on social media. He walked past Chad Gable and his crew. Looked like Chad Gable was scolding the Alpha Academy. Heel Gable is in full effect. He then fist bumped Gable, and Gable smiled and offered him a fist bump back. Camera followed Punk all the way through the back, all the way through Gorilla. We did indeed see Triple H sitting with a headset, trying to hide himself, but we saw him. And he walks through Gorilla, walks out through the curtain, and we saw the camera angle from behind CM Punk overlooking the crowd. Love it. Fire entrance. The production team in WWE, with these types of backstage shots, kind of peek behind the curtain a little bit, I love it. I think it's fantastic. This offers a different take on the show, man. Instead of going through the norm every single week. Same formula every single week. I love it. It's the best thing about the new administration, man. That little slight change to production. Freshening it up a little bit. The Punk is out in the ring. CM Punk looks great. No arm in a sling. He's not racked up. Looks like he's healing faster than anticipated, which is a great thing. Can't wait to see that man back in the ring. Punk says, "It's good to be alive on a Monday night."
I don't know if that happened. But Natalya got briefly distracted by Dakota, so they protected her a little bit as well. Io spiked her in the middle turnbuckle, escaped the sharpshooter, hit the moonsault for the win. I'm so happy to see them doing more with Natalya. And this got time too. This was good.
It's so crazy to me that my favorite Io match on TV happened when once she lost the championship belt.
Yeah.
Like, they really could have been doing so much more of this with Io when she was champion.
Asuka is injured. Will asked if it's real. It is real, unfortunately. I don't know how much. We'll have some more on Fight Select on Tuesday. But she's going to be replaced by Dakota Kai as in what she's doing. Ricochet and Braun reunite backstage. Good to see Braun. Later on, Damian Priest is talking to JD McDonough about Braun. What I want to see is a reintroduced Braun Strowman. I don't know if we'll ever get him to the level he was 2017 as far as being over. But man, I miss when that dude cheated with Roman Reigns. Like, I look forward to him whooping Roman Reigns' ass every single week. Don't know if we'll quite get that, but
I think I need to be reminded, because I don't think I was ever like a really big Braun Strowman fan. Like, I was never just one of those people. But I feel like, obviously, I liked the guy and I liked what he did on TV, but I just need to be reminded of what that is right now.
have him tear shit up again. Have him tear
It's
shit
been a
up.
while. It's been a while, honestly. I mean, why is the last thing I think of the freaking choo-choo train that they were having him do?
Oh,
Like,
because that's what he did.
right, and that's like the last thing I have in my mind, that and the nose piercing. So it's like I really need something else to come in here and boot those memories out of my head.
Fid McDawson says with all the Samoans or non-Samoans and Polynesians joining the bloodline, should Minare be considered an option? Heard his contract is up in January and left Japan. I don't know, because I don't know what kind of connection he has. So Tonga Tonga and Tongaloa, there is a connection. Their father is Haku, and you can go look up the interview.
Now, I see a couple people saying, "Well, is JD gonna call out CM Punk for mentioning Jack Perry?" No, I'm not. You want to know why? Because the crowd in Stamford, Connecticut, or Hartford, Connecticut, wherever the fuck they were tonight, they met the comment with a bunch of crickets. You want to know why? Because nobody gives a shit about Jack Perry. Any more questions?
No.
CM Punk didn't show any footage. CM Punk didn't allude to anything else but a mere joke. alluding to Mickey Gall. Who knows? Now everybody wants to go play the Jack Perry card. Hey, there you go, man. That's the Jack Perry card right there. Give me a fucking break. Not that big of a deal. Nobody in this crowd knows who the fuck Jack Perry is. Give me a break.
Looks good. You knew what you were going to get on paper. And what you ended up getting in the ring was far better. And to me, this is one of those matches where I'm like, please run it back at some point. Do not wait forever. Hell, get these guys in a feud. I don't care. Give me more. But this was so much fun. Dude, did you catch when Ilya did that suplex on Ricochet? Ricochet's face, like, bounced. I don't even know what the hell happened. Bounced on the mat. And I literally just had this feeling of, but it was so entertaining. All of the dives, the corkscrew plancha that Ricochet did, and they had the camera angle from the top. I swear to God, at one moment, I think he was in slow motion in the air. I don't know how it happened. Not a physicist. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. Sorry, I've been rewatching The Big Bang Theory, so it was stuck in my head. I was rewatching the episode where Penny moves in and they're moving the bed up the.
I felt the less effective it was. So maybe we can correct that shit next time. I'm ready for these two to fight. I'm ready for these two to be healthy. I'm ready to see the match. He then said, listen, at the end of this, he said this off the microphone. He didn't say this in front of the live audience. He may show up to Clash at the Castle in Scotland and surprise Drew McIntyre when he doesn't realize. He may jump out of a bowl of haggis, he said. I mean, is that CM Punk alluding to the match happening at Clash of the Castle? I predicted McIntyre to win the King of the Ring tournament and cash in his title match against Damian Priest at Clash of the Castle. Now we may be looking at Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk at Clash of the Castle. I think WWE is banking on CM Punk being back for that show. Maybe. That would be great. The sooner he's back on television and the sooner this feud can get kicked off, the better. Kathy Kelly interviewed Ricochet. He was backstage. She asked Ricochet about facing the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. First time ever tonight. Tonight is the first step in defining a legacy for himself.
These guys that go out there and they look tough. They beat the hell out of their opponent. They make it look very physical because he wrestles a very physical style. I think they respect that. And I think for that reason, he's going to do just fine on the main roster. So I think this is a great first night for him in front of what I would say was a tough crowd. He now faces Jey Uso in the next round. And I would say the way Drew McIntyre was eyeballing Jey at the end of that match earlier in the show, I'm seeing a Dragunov win. Probably with the unintended assist from Drew McIntyre. And I don't know if McIntyre is going to give Dragunov a Claymore, which would result in a disqualification of Jey Uso and screw him over that way, or if he's just going to cost Jey the match in some way. But I think we're going to see McIntyre get involved, and I think Dragunov is going to move on. And the reason I'm just trying to will it into existence, but the way things are shaping up, we could, in the next couple of weeks, very well be in for a Gunther Ilya Dragunov. And I am all about that. I am not of the mindset that, no, you can't do it now. You've got to wait. You got to build to it and do it later on. Why not both? I don't see any issue matching up Dragunov and Gunther in the King of the Ring tournament, having Gunther beat him. And then later on, when he gets himself over, and the time is right, whether it's next year or whenever it may be, you will eventually circle back around to Gunther and Ilya Dragunov. At that point, maybe Dragunov will get that win over Gunther. I have no issue if they match these two guys up in this tournament. That's the match that I want to see. And that would only be a semifinal match. That's not even the finals. I'm pulling for Gunther and Dragon. I got my fingers crossed. That's the match I want to see. Zoe Stark, one-on-one with Ivy Nile. First round, Queen of the Ring tournament match.
Definitely.
Very out of it in this match. Ivy had a delayed vertical suplex.
Producing back then, there would be an awful lot of things that would have been a lot better. They certainly wouldn't have messed up Edge's return. They wouldn't have screwed up any number of things back then. He also says, why does Triple H never do media calls for PLEs like NXT does? Well, that's because Triple H is heading up the main roster stuff. He's never done those for WWE main roster.
Thanks, man. And he then says something to JD. JD looks so fun when he's sitting there. He really does have either a huge head or a small body. His proportions are off. And he looks so hilarious sitting there. I'm like, he just looks hilarious. And I like that he's a good sport about it because they constantly bring up his 33-pound head. Oh my God. So JD, I guess, is told or instructed by Priest to deal with Braun Strowman, who we did get a glimpse of earlier. He came and said hi to Ricochet, but I was in and out of the room, so I don't know if I caught all the context here. But I guess he says he wants to deal with Strowman. So I think JD McDonough is going to be the first person fed to Strowman when we see him, back in the match, I suppose. And then Dom shows up with his new BFF Carlito. Priest is not happy because it was 1 year ago to the day at Backlash in San Juan where Carlito made his return with that enormous pop and cost Priest or contributed to the match, to Bad Bunny's victory anyway. Priest hasn't forgotten that, so he said, "You're not going to find any friends here." And then Carlito was like, "Well, don't be so quick to judge. You know, I could be of use to you. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours," something like that. And then they scamper off. So I don't know if they're kind of setting up here, Dominic, finding a new crew when Judgment Day implodes. I mean, Rhea Ripley's going to be coming back to a completely different looking scene here. Depending on how long they drag all of this out. But right now, Judgment Day feels united. Priest has shown support for his troops. He's even gone as far as apologizing. So this might buy them some time if they're trying to delay, Judgment Day imploding until maybe Ripley comes back or whatever they're doing here. Sounds like, at least for now, Judgment Day is a little bit tighter than they were a week ago. After that, we get Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed. This, of course, issue is carrying over from last week when Gable and Reed are both targeting the Intercontinental Championship. Gable and Reed have both interrupted in singles matches against Sami Zayn in the last couple of weeks and screwed up some title defenses here. And they get about 3 or 4 minutes into the match. Right after,
nobody gives a shit. Move on. Come up with something new. That's what we got to look forward to when Becky drops this fucking title to Mid Morgan. Michael called through to a video package on the Mad Dragon.
Teach me, thanks.
Probably should. Ian Simmons says, "So glad for all these years Ricochet finally got to show that what he could do in the main roster. I did think what Denise said about how they could cool Ricochet off after he loses and push both guys." Yeah, I mean, it's like they discovered under Triple H, oh yeah, that's why we hired Ricochet, because he's
An early Death Valley driver for a 2 count. Gable came back with an impressive.
both of them. So Reed winds up taking down Sandy and Chad Gable. He is confronted at Gorilla when he's leaving by Adam Pearce. And Bronson says something like, what you have to do or whatever. So it's going to be a triple threat at, do they have a name for this? I guess it's the King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn would later on in an interview with Jackie Redmond backstage pose that triple threat in Saudi Arabia. And that was basically what we thought we would see between these 3 guys. And this is another good match to do because it allows Sami to retain it. I do not think Sami is going to drop it in the triple threat. I think this thing might carry into. I'd like to see it carry into like SummerSlam and do Gable and Sammy at SummerSlam and have Gable beat him. But it might be hard to stretch it that.
All right, hold on.
Everything I needed to see. We come back after the first commercial break, which was about 90 seconds in. Ricochet tried to moonsault off the apron, but Dragunov caught him and hit a release German suplex that flipped Ricochet onto the mat, face first. Great stuff. Dragunov followed with a springboard dropkick for 2. Ricochet finds himself up top with Dragunov, hits a hurricanrana off the top, and consecutive suicide dives. Now, there was 3 dives in total here. One.
Pickle when he comes into the ring in, like it would be like a pineapple or something.
Oh my god, I'd be like freaking SpongeBob. I would have SpongeBob's house as my entrance.
Looked like something that, you know, sometimes there are accidents in the highway and then like a bumper will fly up. You'll see like a bumper or a tire on the side of the road.
The match was great. I wasn't sure about this one because on paper, when they announced it on Saturday, we're like, sweet, Gunther and Sheamus. Because when we think Gunther and Sheamus, we think Clash at the Castle. We think of the wars they had back in 2022 and spilled into 2023 at WrestleMania 39 and that triple threat. But Sheamus has been out of the ring for a year. He just came back a couple of weeks ago, and he was not as small in the middle as he used to be, and a lot of people were pointing that out. Sheamus himself was having a lot of fun with that. He's a great sport. And it was good tonight to see him back in his old gear. Like when he came back, he kind of was wearing the longer trunks, sort of, and now he kind of had his original shit on. And whatever worries I had if this match could live up to what we would come to expect from Gunther and Sheamus, they evaporated quickly. If you compare this match to their Clash match or any other matches that they've had, you know, you wouldn't necessarily maybe rank it higher or anything, but it definitely lived up to what we expect from these two dudes when they get in there. We expect to see Sheamus's pasty ass body covered in red welts. We expect.
He said Kansas City, you say your stadium is the loudest. It helps.
Vicious stuff. Then he went for torpedo musk.
But she would trust Lyra. She noted that, or Michael Cole noted that Lyra and Becky are both Irish, and they both.
Now, this was what we got. It was on Raw Talk. Lyra thrilled with her first night on Raw. Bloodline Girl, Cody Retained. Left for Andrew Zarian. Only went about 15 minutes. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Now we have NXT West Lee's first match back. Chelsea Green, Roxanne Perez. AEW Dynamite. SmackDown, we got the tournament. We'll see who'll be in that tournament. The Hughes department confirmed. Triple H buried the Thirsty. He also buries Fightful. That can be a 2. That's on this. It must be very late then. AEW Dynamite. Death to Lewis respond to the Wyatt Sits. Don't tell me he's gonna be in it.
Yeah, I have yet to beat you. Because Becky said, look, of all
people might not know is all the medical procedures he's gone through to get back to WWE. He said King Gunther would be unbearable.
They're certainly optimistic after Seth has re-signed. I don't have that info on Becky.
Gunther advances, and like I said, I expect him now to go all the way. He's either going to be facing Dragunov or the winner of Rey Mysterio and Kofi Kingston. I feel like he's going to face the winner of Rey and Kofi. I think regardless of who wins that, it'll be a fun match to watch Gunther win, whether he beats Kofi or Rey. So it doesn't matter there. And Jey Uso and Dragunov is going to be one of the more interesting matches because that's got to be a first timer, right? I don't think these guys have ever crossed paths in any way in the ring anyway in WWE. So that's the match we're getting next week. And that should be it too. It should be Dragunov and Jay next week, along with Gunther versus the winner of Rey and Kofi. We should get that next week, and then the week after that, we'll get Saints, right? So either way, regardless of how they do it, we're set up for some pretty awesome matches.
First person to stay in my shirt.
All right, come on.
And Becky Lynch. We haven't seen Becky Lynch, not that I recall, in a role like that. So I think it would be pretty cool. So I feel like they did a lot here. They set up Liv as a savage, not a coward, but a savage. And this friendship, this potential friendship with two girls that come from the same place in Lyra and Becky.
The Bet Junior says dealing with an ankle injury, it put a smile on my face seeing Becky put over Alba, Isla, Kiana, and Lyra in her interview with Michael Cole. That was the highlight of it, I felt. And Punkster Punk says, love you guys. It's great to see you crank again. Hope you're holding up well, Sean. Don't know how to transition out of this, but live rules. And TTPD / well, hey, we're just happy to hear from you, punks are punks. How about that one? Well, this led to Lyra Valkyria defeating Dakota Kai. I mean, man, this was King and Queen of the Ring heavy, but I think when you got the turnaround they're going to have, good. Do that and show us that this matters and show us that it's important. And then you can supplement it with some of the title stuff because that was sort of the focus over the past weekend. You got to have the people who just showed up win as soon as they show up. That way people believe they are on the level.
Yeah, this match was fine. I did think it lacked a little bit of electricity in it. Didn't have some of the electricity that we've seen Lyra have in some of her NXT matches. But I still thought that it was a fine match. I just don't think that Dakota and Lyra had I don't think they had as much magic together just yet. Maybe it just didn't, they didn't totally click during this matchup here. But and I only say this because I know that I've seen so many of Lyra's matches and I know how good they can be. And I felt like this one, when she won, it didn't have the crowd sort of reacting the way you might have wanted them to. It wasn't like the same reaction that you got when Ilya won. And so that was the only thing that I would say was lacking from this victory. But regardless, I still thought they had a fine match. But it was interesting because I would have thought that would be like probably the best match of the night for the women. But it ended up being Natty and Dio. Like none of the women's matches just topped that one for today.
I think this match, if they ran it back in about 2 or 3 months after running the live event loops, I bet it would be
right, just to get them a little bit more used to each other and whatnot.
Brian Sully says apparently the SmackDown side of the men's King of the Ring revealed. Round one has Orton, AJ, Corbin, Carmelo, Knight and Santos, Lashley, and Tom.
Did they reveal it on their website?
Is that legit?
I don't know. I'm
Luis,
looking right now.
Can the producer, Luis, can you let us know, friend? Is this bullshit? It is true. Announced on Raw Talk.
Oh, okay. God, I forget Raw Talk is a thing, man. I'm all looking for it on their Twitter site.
Buddy, I watched a whole episode thinking they were going to announce draft picks there. Whoa. Love for Boo says, wanted to say welcome back, SRS. Sorry to hear about your loss. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And honestly, it'd be a lot harder if I didn't have you guys to talk to and hang out with. And it means a lot. Broadway Joe says, WWE only watchers. If you enjoyed Ilya,
sheer stupidity of our truth in the mix. J.D. McFish and Balor were backstage. Balor apologized to McDonough and Damian Priest. McDonough said he probably wasn't 10% after what happened with Braun Strowman last week. Priest said McRib is going to take care of him, so they are throwing him to the wolves and want J.D. McFlurry to take care of Braun Strowman. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Dominic and Carlito. Carlito cool. They walked in. Priest confronted Carlito and said, whoa, what are you doing? And last year, a year to the day, you cost me my dream in Puerto Rico against Bad Bunny, and I'm never gonna forgive you. Carlito said that's the past, and now the Judgment Day rule Raw, and that's cool. Carlito said, all right, here's the deal. Carlito proposed they scratch each other's backs. You do me a favor, I do you a favor. Priest told Dominic, get him out of here. I don't want to see this guy anywhere. You're looking for friends, you're not going to find friends here in the Judgment. Get out. So J.D. McCafe, he looked worried and then asked Priest, what do you mean about Braun Strowman? It means you're going to be one-on-one with Braun Strowman. You're going to be fed to the monster among men. McChrist. Go have a McNugget, clown. Michael Cole called this guy a human-sized Funko Pop. It's nice to me. Don't know why he gets continuously ragged on, but I guess I'm not really helping the cause if I'm calling him every fucking McDonald's item on the Don. It's our thing. Triple H took away all of our fucking jokes, man. I can't do Pete Dunne anymore. I can't do Raquel Perez anymore. At least we got the Strowman Express back. I can add that one back to the list of jokes. Omos is not on television. I can't do the mighty Omos anymore. What are you doing to me, Paul? Go have a McNugget. Barbecue is the side, please. Or the sweet and sour. I was more of a sweet and sour guy. Either way, it's shit. Couldn't pay me to fucking eat McDonald's nowadays. Chad Gable, he went one-on-one with Bronson Reed. This match really wasn't a match. It was more of a setup to lead to a post-match attack, which then led to a announcement that the Intercontinental title is on the line in Saudi Arabia. Triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. So we got both guys getting an entrance here. Imagine Chad Gable going 2 minutes in a match on Monday Night Raw. Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. So they rushed through some big moves, which you could tell they rushed right to a big power move and something was going to happen here. So we got Gable delivering Chaos Theory to Bronson Reed. Then this sick motherfucker tried for a Spanish fly. I think he was looking for a Spanish fly or a Gable slam or something off the top rope. It looked nasty. It took a big bump off the top rope. So all of a sudden, Sami Zayn came from the crowd and attacked Gable, ran in, attacked Gable, and caused the DQ, which gave Chad Gable the victory over Bronson. So they traded some spots until Reed laid both of them out. And Bronson Reed is eyeing the Intercontinental Championship. So Sami cleared the ring of Reed. Gable gave Sami a German suplex. Sami gave Gable an exploder in the corner. He went for the Helluva kick. Bronson Reed caught him off, gave him a Uranage. He then gave Gable a Uranage, and that was basically it for this match. Reed got backstage. Adam Pearce told him to control himself. What the fuck do you call what you did out there? Bronson Reed says, you know what to do. If you want control, you got to do what needs to be done. All I care about is that Intercontinental Championship. And then the match was made. We got a triple threat match in Saudi Arabia. Should be a bang. Sami Zayn versus Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable for the Intercontinental title at King of the Ring. Nicely. package here, man. Oh, man, somewhere.
Hard to do that. I want him to get his win back over Elia from years ago as well. That's what I want. How'd you feel about this and the direction it's going?
Well, I'm with you on that with Gunther. I think he's a popular pick heading into being part of the King of the Ring for sure. I would say he's the pick, the popular choice. But my biggest thing I have to say about this, in all honesty, is that while it was levels above anything that we saw here today, this was match of the night. It was not as good as their previous matches. Just point blank, the previous matches were just levels above this, and this was fine, but it did not have that same magic that they once had. I thought it was fine, best match of the night, but nowhere near what they have done in the past.
Yeah, it wasn't the. It's not going to win match of the year like their previous match won match of the year in the Fightful Awards. But for King of the Ring, I thought it was pretty solid. For the Raw main event, thought it was okay. Still pretty good. It's just they had set the bar so ridiculously high that it was hard to do that. Like I don't think this will ever be mentioned in the same breath as the other match.
No, I
that's
will be
okay.
surprised if in a couple of years I forget this match on Raw even happened. But I'll remember all their other matches. I'm probably gonna remember this one though. And I'm including the WrestleMania one as well, by the way, because I really love that match, even though Drew was in it. I don't care. I love that match, so I'm including it.
We have lots of cool stuff coming up for you guys on
Out there. Go to my Instagram account. I've been posting a whole lot there too.
Jonathan Corona says, it'd be cool if we let all women's commentary teams.
I'm all looking for it on their Twitter site.
Buddy, I want.
I don't know, but it was fucking weird. I don't know who dresses like that, walks out of the house and thinks that they look good. It's not really a fashion statement when you're wearing something
Back in shape. Or the shape he was in before. Not that he wasn't in shape, but it was going to take a matter of weeks. The guy said he was sleeping in the gym. It was only going to be a matter of time. Yeah, all right, make fun of him now. Good for him. So Gunther connected with an early.
Between this and the Ilya match, that was like 37 minutes of wrestling, and I'll take that for a 3-hour Raw. There was some very good wrestling. And every match had a purpose, of some sort. Even Evil was short, but that was all done to look good. You had a good CM Punk level doing better as well. So I thought it was like a very good. We're putting we're threatening all of the walkie-talkies out of it to make it happen.
Kaiser is outside the ring, and Kaiser wrenches down on the leg. So, or at least you saw the tail end. And so he immediately ejected Kaiser. Everybody cheered.
Vega may be the worst queen of the ring ever. Michael Cole asked about her last month, which was bittersweet.
Even in Ilya Dragunov had an excellent match. Excellent match. It was a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty.
Must have put a photo up on his Twitter. I don't have it in front of me right now.
said she's tired of being underestimated. He said she'll get a title match at the King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. He said Liv has accomplished a lot, but she's never defeated Becky Lynch. Liv says she's figured out what she's been missing all along, which is a purpose. And now that she has her purpose, she knows she can finally beat Becky and become the new Women's World Champion. I understand Liv Morgan as her fan. I understand you guys wanted Liv Morgan in a story. You may end up getting Liv as the women's champion. If you don't win the women's championship from Becky Lynch, I don't know. There may be suicide bombings going on around the Liv Morgan community. Seriously. Either that or Johnson & Johnson will be sold out nationwide at Kleenex. But holy shit, is Liv Morgan a terrible pro.
Yeah, they put shit.
She is one of the worst promos in the entire.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about Liv. The way she projects words, I don't get it. I don't. It doesn't sound good. The way she projects words, her cadence, her delivery is so fucking bad. It's almost as if she should not cut a promo. Period. Seriously. I can't stand when she speaks. It's almost, it's not really yelling, but it's like an octave below yelling. Everything is just the same tone. It's so unnaturally fucking cringe. I can't really, it's so difficult to describe.
He taps out, and Gunther is moving on in the King of the Ring tournament. Both men, they're dripping sweat. They're battered and they're bruised. Sheamus in particular is all bruised up. Bret Hart, I'm sure, wasn't watching this, but if he was, I'm sure he's up in Calgary shaking his head. We all know what he thinks about chops and Gunther. Two of his least favorite things in the world are chops and Gunther.
I'm telling you, I did. You know,
we all know how he felt after the Clash of the Castle match that he was there in the building for.
Nigga, don't you talk.
So while he may be shaking his head somewhere,
Beat it.
By the way, Bret Hart, the only two-time King of the Ring. I'm just saying. 1991 may not have been televised, but it still counts. 1991, 1993. Well, let him shake his head because this was fucking great. Gunther and Sheamus went out there. They did it again. Now, of the 4 matches that they have had, I was thinking about this. I don't know that anything can really top that first, one-on-one match in Cardiff with that crowd in that building. It was so fantastic.
Then we get Liv Morgan out there cutting a promo that makes everyone's ears bleed. We wasted valuable television time that could have gone to Natalya and Io Sky. Valuable television time where we could have afforded Gunther and Sheamus an extra 3 minutes so they didn't have to rush off the fucking air. Absolutely fucking brutal. Brutal. We're going from Becky Lynch to Liv Morgan, man. I can't wait for Rhea Ripley to get back. With Liv Morgan being your women's champion, she's going to be able to cut promos like that. This title reign's already going to be a fucking failure. How can we have a women's champion if I don't believe in a fucking thing she's saying?
Exactly.
Dakota Kai and Liv Morgan,
You know
or
what?
actually Dakota
That
Kai
is the
came out
fucking
there
lie.
and said
I
Liv is getting
can't
a
wait
title
for
shot.
Becky.
She did nothing to earn. But I thought the whole Nia Jax Liv Morgan match last week was to prove that she did earn a title shot.
Becky
Maybe
Lynch and
Dakota
Liv
took the
Morgan
night
are
off.
direct champion. Thank you, sir.
They surrounded the ring, did damage
You're the
control.
most direct
Dakota said
championship.
they wanted
Until
to
we come
remind
back,
them
that's
who really runs Monday Night Raw. Oh, I thought that was Judgment Day.
because they come to the yo.
Liv and Becky stood back to back. It looked like Liv and Becky were going to be buddy at least against a common enemy. All of a sudden, Liv rolled out of the ring and left Becky all alone. Liv laughed and stated that this is not her problem. So she's no longer Liv Morgan or Liv Morgan. She's Leave Morgan. Get it? Leave Morgan. She left. Damage control swarmed Becky Lynch. Lyra Val. Who? Oh, hey, Becky 3.0, man. Lyra Valkyria. There she is. There she is. Lyra Valkyria ran out, gave Liv a dirty look on the way out as she ran out down the aisleway. What are you doing? She says. She then got in the ring and she helped Becky Lynch rid of damage control. Oh man, that's so great. I can't wait. I can't wait for Becky to lose the championship and then we get Becky and Becky 2.0 against damage control, man. What a great angle, man. Wow, what a refreshing angle. Like we didn't fucking see that one before. Here we are praising the track. Triple H rectified some of the problems that the women's division had on Monday night. Oh man, they added depth to the Monday Night Raw women's division. Yeah, let's go back and do the same fucking angle that we saw for 18 months on Friday night. Just plug in Lyra and get rid of Bianca Belair and Bayley. Jesus fucking Christ. I know what I'm going to be changing the channel when that comes on with. Holy shit. Moving on. Jackie Redmond interviewed Sami Zayn backstage. Sami had an issue.
I don't know. I don't recall. It's been a while, though. I'm sure it's happened. I just don't, offhand, I don't remember when that would have been. I don't know. But that's what made it so effective. How often do you see Sheamus tap out? How often do you see one of the top baby faces on the show tapping out? It doesn't happen very often. It's something that under Vince McMahon you almost saw. Once John Cena went babyface and was done doing the Doctor of Thugonomics stuff, you never saw him tap out. That was his whole gimmick. Never give up. Can you imagine if Cena would have given up? Even Hulk Hogan tapped out to the ankle lock against Kurt Angle at the King of the Ring. You were never going to see John Cena tap out. Vince never would have allowed it. But every now and then, I think it's okay to have your...
Well, man, you really want me to care about Lyra Valkyria, but you took 2 commercial breaks in her match, man, which only went 8 minutes. Right. So most of it, we only see 4 minutes of it. Come back from the commercial, Lyra's on offense. Some big strikes, a big flying crossbody, a fisherman suplex to 2. Lyra is draped over the middle rope, and Dakota Kai gets a nasty looking stop. Lyra's face went right into the match. Dakota followed up with a running kick in the corner. Kai missed the GTK. Followed up with a scorpion kick. Lyra countered Dakota's next move into what she calls the Nightwing, which was very sloppily delivered. Her finish for the 1, 2, 3. The night wasn't that Darkwing Duck's fucking plane? The Nightwing? What is that? Taking influence from Darkwing Duck, Lyra Valkyria. Let me find out. Let me find out Lyra is a Darkwing Duck enthusiast, man. Seriously. How many of you guys remember Darkwing Duck, huh? God damn, it makes me feel fucking old. Holy shit. Nobody cared. The crowd was dead for this match. Nobody knows who Lyra is yet, which goes to show you nobody gives a fuck about what happens on NXT. Nobody's watching NXT. None of this audience is watching NXT. Dakota Kai, no heat. Where's the heatless match? Where's the heatless match? Lyra wins, right outcome, and she advances to the second round. Kofi Kingston cut a promo. He's in the King of the Ring tournament. Xavier Woods, who won the last King of the Ring, is not. Kofi Kingston's in the locker room. He will wrestle Rey Mysterio on a house show. He says, Gunther knocked Xavier out of the tournament with his attack on his leg last week. At least we got an explanation. He said, if Gunther advances, he can't wait to face him and give him what he deserves. He said he has to get past Rey Mysterio first, whom he has a ton of respect. Now, the winner of this match gets to wrestle Gunther in the second round. It doesn't matter if it's Rey, 619, Booyaka, Booyaka, Rey Mysterio. It doesn't matter if it's Rey Mysterio or Kofi Kingston. Nobody is getting past it. It looks like Gunther has, he might as well give Gunther a bye in the finals, honestly. But if I was to choose one guy to win this match, I'm going with Rey Mysterio. We've seen Kofi and Gunther before. I would rather go with the fresh match, Rey Mysterio versus Gunther. Gunther advances to the finals. Then Ilya Dragunov versus Jey Uso. I would say Judgment Day factors into that, or Drew McIntyre factors into that. Dragunov wins. We get Gunther versus Dragunov in the finals. That's my prediction. I don't know who was on the SmackDown side. I don't. I can tell you who my prediction for the SmackDown King of the Ring would be, but we don't have any names in that tournament. Main event time. Gunther. He's out there. Ludwig Kaiser. One-on-one against Sheamus in the final. This was a great match. Was it better than what they previously delivered? No. How could it be when there's two fucking commercial breaks? Oh man, did they get plenty of time to tell their story. Gunther defeated Sheamus in 21 minutes. They gave these guys 20 minutes, as they should. Anything less would be criminal. You know, for all the body shaming that people did on Sheamus, then he's starting to look really fucking ripped again, huh? He promised you guys he'd lose the weight. He told you guys he came back early because they wanted him back before the draft. And now there he is putting in the work. He's starting to look like his old self. So we go to a quick commercial break. They were repeatedly smacking each other very hard on the chest. I mean, Sheamus' chest was already red within minutes of this match.
Crowd gets silent.
Well, Sheamus eventually got the winner of Gunther ahead of the commercial break. After the break, Gunther chopped Sheamus in the back. You physically saw sweat flying off of Sheamus. What a brutal shot, man. Holy shit. Gunther tried a rest hold. They zoomed in on Sheamus's back. You could see Gunther's hand mark on Sheamus's white skin. Ridiculous. Sheamus fought back with a backbreaker. Gunther responded with a clothesline for 2. Sheamus hit white noise for 2. He hits a power slam. He goes for another cover. He gets a 2 count. Sheamus then hit 17 beats on the turnbuckle or on the ropes on Gunther. He tries for a brogue kick. Gunther dodges the brogue kick. Gunther distracted the referee while Kaiser dropkicked Sheamus in the knee. Sheamus tried for a big boot. He tried for the brogue kick. He got caught up in the ropes. It was a situation where he could probably get out of the ropes himself and untie himself, but Kaiser came over and wrapped his leg even further in the ropes where he couldn't move. And then Gunther had the referee distracted. He attacked Sheamus in the knee, which became the story of the match. Referee figured out what had happened here because Kaiser was very sloppy with him attacking. He saw Kaiser attack, so he kicked Kaiser out. Well, Kaiser was kicked out of the ringside area. Come on. So now we're down to a one-on-one match. We go to commercial break. Gunther smashed Sheamus' knee against the ring post during the break. Held a leg lock when they came back. Sheamus fought to his feet while Gunther kicked his leg out. Gunther ripped Sheamus's knee pad off and then continued to target the knee and the leg. Sheamus came back with a big clothesline and a great looking lifting knee strike, which he did go for a cover on. He got a 2 count. Sheamus once again went for the brogue kick, but his knee gave out. Gunther took advantage of Sheamus falling down. Hits a power bomb on Sheamus for a 2 count. Gunther then applied the half crab on Sheamus, but Sheamus quickly got to the rope and broke the hold. Gunther then was going to the top rope. I believe he was going for the big splash. Sheamus cut him off. He takes Gunther off the top rope and hits the Celtic Cross, Razor's Edge, for a 2. Gunther then comes back, hits a German suplex on Sheamus, but Sheamus no-sold it, popped up, hit another knee strike, followed by the brogue kick, but the knee gave out after the brogue kick. He couldn't make the cover. He did eventually make it. It took too long, and Gunther kicked out. So the story of the match was that knee that Gunther was working. Gunther then applied the half crab. It almost looked like they had to go home because they were running out of time. I was looking at my fucking watch, and we got 11 o'clock hitting the clocks. Like, this is either going for a 5-minute overrun or we're getting this shit cut off middle of the match. They went right to the ending. Gunther applied the half crab. Sheamus in the middle of the ring. He tried to drag himself to the ropes, but he eventually succumbed to the half crab, and he tapped out to Gunther. And they were battling against the clock here. The show ended very abruptly. As soon as Gunther released the hold, got up to celebrate, Michael Cole quickly signed this off, and Monday Night Raw. Match was great. I just wish they had, like, at least another 90 seconds, 3 minutes or so, so that they didn't have to rush off the air after such a great match. But the right outcomes tonight for the King of the Ring and the Queen of the Ring. Right outcomes. Jey Uso beat Finn Balor. Drew McIntyre replaced by Jey Uso. McIntyre was inevitably going to beat Balor, so they just plugged Jey Uso in there, and they went with that outcome. Jey Uso is in the second round. He's going one-on-one with Dragunov. And Gunther is going to wrestle the winner of Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio. I'm predicting Rey Mysterio wins. I think that match is better suited for Gunther. I think we've seen enough of Imperium versus The New Day. I'm going with Gunther in the finals. There's no way that Gunther is not. An epic battle on Monday Night Raw with Dragunov versus Gunther in the finals on the Raw side for the King of the Ring tournament. I mean, I can't complain about that. I don't know why they would have Dragunov lose so early, but if it's the Gunther, who the fuck is? And he's not losing to Jey Uso. We've seen that match, and I honestly did not like the Jey Uso Gunther match, so I would not run that match back. I thought that was that was probably one of Gunther's worst matches, and to use that word in a same sentence with Gunther, no mas. No mas. I'm going with McIntyre or the Judgment Day to ruin Jey Uso's chances. I think McIntyre's probably best suited for that because it was his tournament. Adam Pearce told him Jey Uso, the replacement, wins. I think McIntyre's going to have a problem with that. So maybe we see McIntyre come out and ruin Jey Uso's chances. On the SmackDown side, I have no idea who's going to win. I don't even know who's in the tournament outside of the names that were already announced. Santos Escobar, Carmelo Hayes, I'm assuming Bobby Lashley's going to be in there. LA Knight is going to be in the tournament. It looks like we may get LA Knight in the tournament against Gunther. And I like the fact that they're going one winner from Raw, one winner from SmackDown. Both brands are getting their own King of the Ring tournament where they meet in the finals. I know a lot of people usually chime in and say, well, the WWE draft, they already break their rules. You see Raw superstars over on SmackDown. You see SmackDown superstars over on Raw. I get it. But in an instance like this, where they try to differentiate the brands from each other, they give one brand the King of the Ring, they give the other brand the King of the Ring. This is the type of environment where I don't mind where a Raw superstar is in the ring with a SmackDown superstar because it means something. It's the King of the Ring. Both brands have the opportunity to crown a king, and to do that, both brands have to be involved. So this is an instance where I don't mind where a Raw and SmackDown superstar are in the same ring together. Same thing with the Money in the Bank. When the Money in the Bank comes around, I'd have qualifying matches, 3 on SmackDown and 3 on Raw. 3 SmackDown superstars get into the match, 3 Raw superstars get into the match, and we have representation from both brands. Another instance in which Raw and SmackDown superstars share the ring together. Only instances like this. That's what's going to keep the brands split and the drag special. Royal Rumble's another one, which is a given. Raw and SmackDown stars are going to be in the same ring at the same time. So I like it. I think that's great. The only thing I would really change, honestly, with the King of the Ring, I'm glad that it's back, but I'd love it to be its own pay-per-view. I would. Not like this bullshit that we're getting. Honestly, I would do it as its own show. It's tough to do when you gotta include the fucking women. But I like the King of the Ring tournament that honestly takes precedent over everything on television. I would do one of two things. One, make it its own tournament and put it in the middle, or its own pay-per-view rather, put it in the middle of the summer and have it be the bridge between WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and the winner gets a shot at the World Championship, whichever championship they choose, at SummerSlam. That's what I would do. Or if WWE really wants to change the game with it and do something that they've never done before, truly make it into a G1 tournament on both brands. Have it be a month-long tournament, round-robin tournaments with a point system, time limits. Really make it special. I wish they'd go that extra length and do that. Tony Khan did it with the Continental Classic. It proved to be some of AEW's best television all year. 4 weeks of great television. 4 weeks of television that actually mattered. Maybe I'm just a fucking nut. But I'm glad we got it. We'll see what happens on SmackDown. Thank you guys very much for joining me on this Monday night. We're going to get into the super chat portion of the show.
Alright, fine. My voice in the video. Until next time, I'll be back with more. This is Jacob Cat 2024. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button. I'll be back with more.